Explain to you, sir.
Suspicion isn't a crime, and I didn't break any ordinance.
Reasonable suspicion, yes.
Of a crime. Of a crime.
Reasonable suspicion that you turn around back
Can
there
I just
doing
talk to the supervisor that's back there?
No, sir. I need your driver's license.
I'm done answering questions.
All right, sir. I'm going to have you step out of the vehicle for me, sir.
For what purpose?
Step out of the vehicle, sir. I just need to identify you.
But for what purpose?
You're making it harder. All I'm trying to do is...
I'm trying to make it lawful.
A driver was traveling down a public road near a prison in Georgia when they decided to turn onto a private driveway to make a quick U-turn. Moments later, they were stopped by a police officer who claimed the maneuver was suspicious and demanded to see the driver's identification. However, under Georgia law, specifically OCG, a section for 05 to 9, a driver only required to present their license when lawfully stopped for a traffic violation or a criminal offense. In this case, the driver had committed no such offense. They repeatedly asked the officer to provide a valid legal reason for the stop, something the officer failed to do. What seemed like a simple traffic encounter quickly raised a much bigger question. Can a citizen be compelled to show ID without any legal basis?
Hi.
Everything all right, sir?
Yeah, I was checking out something out on the map.
Okay, all right. You do realize you stopped back there?
Yeah, we thought we could get through. Then we saw we couldn't, so we turned around.
All right. You got your driver's license with you?
I do. Am I getting pulled over for something?
Well, you pulled into the water driveway back there.
To turn around.
Yeah, and we're trying to figure out what you were doing. We're trying to identify you.
Is that illegal?
How's my ID going to tell you what I'm doing?
Well, we're trying to identify you.
Okay.
For what?
May I please have your driver's license?
Is that a lawful order?
Yes, sir.
What infraction do you believe I've
pulled
committed?
over here on the road, and I checked that.
Because I was going to look at the map. I didn't want to get on my cellular device
Well, that's good.
while I was driving.
Well, that's good. I appreciate it. You have your driver's license?
I have my driver's license with me, but I'm not certain I'm required to give it. Can you state some sort of statute or
Yes, sir.
some sort of infraction?
Anytime you're requested by law enforcement to provide a driver's license, you have to provide a driver's license.
If you've committed some sort of infraction or
You turn around
crime,
back there.
was that illegal? Was that illegal?
And you pulled in, so we're trying to figure out what
Was
you're
that
doing
illegal?
down there.
When the driver questioned the legality of the officer's demand to present identification, the officer firmly insisted that it was required under Georgia law, yet failed to cite any specific statute to justify the request. In reality, Georgia courts have consistently held that mere suspicion, without concrete evidence of criminal activity, does not meet the reasonable suspicion standard required by the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Fully aware of their rights, the driver calmly pointed this out, emphasizing that turning into a driveway is not illegal and cannot, by itself, constitute a crime or a violation of any law. In a society governed by the rule of law, the distinction between suspicion and reasonable suspicion is not just legal semantics, it is a critical line that protects individual liberty from the overreach of authority.
We were trying to figure out.
I understand that.
We're trying to figure out what you're doing there.
But you're not to figure out what I'm doing, police. You're the law enforcement, police.
And that we're trying to figure out. It's suspicious. So we're just trying to figure out what you were doing there.
Is one of these cars your supervisor?
Yes, sir, it is.
I'd like to talk to your supervisor,
You're going
please.
to talk to me right now. And do you have your driver's license, sir?
I'm not. I don't think I'm required to give you my driver's license, and I'd like to talk to your supervisor to find out.
Yes, sir. May I please get your driver's license?
I don't believe you're giving me a lawful command, sir.
Yes, I am, sir.
For what purpose do you need my ID? What crime or ordinance do you suspect me to have broken?
Because it was suspicious of you to pull
Suspicious?
into
Is
the
that a
driveway and back
misdemeanor
out
or is that a
pull like
felony?
this way.
Is that a misdemeanor or a felony?
That's articulable, reasonable suspicion that you were
Of what
doing
crime?
something. That you were loitering or something like that. Do you have
Do you have evidence that I was loitering?
Sir, you pulled in back there, did you not?
I turned around, yeah, because I saw that I couldn't get through.
You
That's
couldn't get
correct.
through. The road was open. I don't know.
Oh, I saw. It looked like there was checkpoints for getting into the prison or something. So we turned around because we didn't think we could get through.
As you can see from our plate, we're not from here, so
I
yeah.
understand that. Do you have your driver's license?
I don't. I'm telling you. Am I lawfully required to give you my ID?
Yes, sir. Yes,
What? For what purposes am I lawfully required?
What I just explained to you, sir.
Suspicion isn't a crime, and I didn't break any
Reasonable
ordinance.
suspicion, yes.
Of a crime. Of a crime.
Reasonable suspicion that you turn around back
Can
there
I just
doing
talk to the
something.
supervisor that's back there?
No, sir. I need your driver's license.
I'm done answering questions.
All right, sir. I'm gonna have you step out of the vehicle for me,
For
sir.
what purpose?
Step out of the vehicle, sir. I just need to identify you.
But for what purpose?
You're making it harder. All I'm trying to do is...
I'm trying to make it lawful.
All I'm trying to do
What law do you think I broke to pull me over for?
You were down there. You pulled into the...
Yes, I
didn't
did.
know what you were doing, right?
I turned around.
That's the
I told you
warden's
what I'm doing.
residence. That's the warden's residence.
I turned
State
around.
Property,
I didn't
right?
know whose it was.
It's state property. So I came
So
down
it's
here
public
to
property.
That's state property, okay?
Public property, then.
That's state property, okay?
So is it illegal to turn around on his property?
Well, it's articulably reasonable suspicious that you're performing something
A turnaround?
illegal there,
In a
or
vehicle.
you're doing something there when we have other things going on. So if I can, please identify
I'm not
you,
from
sir.
this town.
Okay, and that's fine. And all I have to do is identify you. We can get you on your way.
How is identifying me going to tell you what I was doing?
Well, we're making sure that you're not a wanted person. You're somebody that was going to go there and harm the warden or something.
The ID is not
I'm
going to tell
making
you
a
that.
formal request for your supervisor right now.
Okay, well that's fine, sir.
I'm formally
But-
making a request
and
right now for your
I'm making a
supervisor.
formal request that you provide your driver's license.
But it's not a lawful request, correct?
It is a lawful
For
request.
what reason do I need
Like
to
I
ID
said,
myself?
articulable reason suspicion.
What is the statute? 35.3611. What's your statute IDing? It says that if you've committed a crime, if you have
Negative.
in the commission of a crime,
Negative.
already
Go ahead,
committed a crime.
Step out for me, sir. Go ahead, step out.
I'm trying to get identified,
Step back
and I
here.
don't think I need to.
Step back here.
For what reason?
Step back here.
What
Step
did
back
he
here.
explain? He explained that I turned around in someone's driveway.
The situation escalated further when the driver formally requested to speak with his supervisor, a reasonable demand that the officer blatantly ignored. Instead, the officer continued to insist on identification, despite the driver's clear and repeated objections. Under OCGA Section 1610-4, subsection 3, it is unlawful for a public official to knowingly use their position to deprive an individual of their constitutional rights. The driver firmly pointed this out, asserting that the officer's actions, including threats of arrest, amounted to coercion with no legal justification. Faced with the growing threat of an unwarranted arrest, the driver ultimately handed over their ID. However, they made it unmistakably clear that they did so not voluntarily, but under duress, a reluctant act taken only to avoid an unlawful detention.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I don't know whose driveway
Stop
was.
and listen. You asked
Sir.
me a question. I'm telling you exactly what I'm
I
doing.
don't. Is it unlawful to turn around in a driveway?
Let me explain to
Go
you.
ahead.
I get where I'm going.
Go ahead.
All right. Currently, there's been events happening there at the prison, correct?
I don't know. I'm from. You can see I'm from
All right,
Florida.
so we're-
Okay. So this is what's going on.
Okay.
There's been events that's happening there at the prison in the last week. All right.
I didn't know
we
that.
have an incident going on right now.
I didn't know that
Now,
either.
You pulled into the warden's driveway. Now you're leaving.
I pulled into
So we
a driveway. I didn't know whose driveway it was. Wasn't posted for trespassing.
If you
I
hand
made
your
sure to
phone
look.
to your buddy, he can record with both phones, but you're going to step out here and we're going to try to identify you.
Well, how is stepping out going to make me identify?
Because you haven't cooperated. I asked you
Okay,
multiple
so
times.
I'm going to ask
here.
you, sir. You're a supervisor, correct?
Doesn't matter. This is stop right now.
But is this a lawful request for
Yes.
my ID?
That is correct.
Can you tell me what lawful statute or
Sir,
of what?
Get out.
My wallet's down there, so I can get you my ID from down there.
Can you
I'm
grab
not
your
going to have
wallet
you
from
get
right
it.
there? Can you grab? I was
I
pointing
can't
at
see
it.
it.
It's right there. That's why I was pointing at it. You think that?
Okay, so I'm going to identify myself.
Let me see your
I'm going to
driver's
identify myself, but I am going to make sure to follow through with this because I don't believe it's
By
lawful.
all means, please, sir.
So
I'm
you're-
not telling you. I'm not telling
So
you.
you're
can't.
right. Just for the record, you're identifying me right now for what purpose?
Like I told you.
Because you're suspicious.
Turned
Because I'm
around.
suspicious.
Yes, you turned around. You don't know everything that has happened.
I don't know anything that's happened. I'm not
so
from here.
I'm going to explain it to you once I'm able to identify you.
Okay. So you're identifying me for suspicious behavior,
Yes, sir.
and that's not a misdemeanor nor a felony.
It is. It would
nor
be.
have I committed
What-
a traffic infraction.
We don't know what you're doing. But honestly,
This isn't going to tell you what I'm doing. But so, just for the record, I have not made a traffic infraction, correct?
sir,
Is that correct?
You pulled into the water.
Did I
You
make
are
a traffic
articulable-
infraction? Yes or
Sir.
no?
Sir, you pulled into a driveway that does not
Yes, I
belong
did.
to you, right?
Yes.
You don't know who it belongs to.
Correct. I was
All
turning
right,
around.
so
It's
I'm
a
coming down
normal
here.
practice.
I've informed you.
Yes.
When I initially informed you, when I asked for your driver's license, you asked for the reason. I informed you whose driveway that was.
Which I asked was that unlawful,
All right.
and you said and
Yes,
you said it's
I'm
state
trying to
property.
I'm trying to figure out because of the
My
events that
ID is going
occurred.
to make it yes or not
Yes, sir.
unlawful?
Yes, sir.
My
Let
ID
me
is going to
see- let me
change
see
whether
your
it's
driver's
lawful or
license.
not. All right. I am handing you my driver's license
Yes,
under
sir.
duress. Under
Oh,
threat of...
okay.
Am I going to get arrested if I don't give you my license?
Sir, you can be charged. I'm just asking for your driver's license.
Am I going to be arrested if I don't give you my
I'm just
driver's
asking
license?
for your driver's license. Yes, sir.
If
you
you're-
can be arrested.
If you're
You can.
asking for it, I'm going to say no. If you're requesting it, requiring it by law...
I am requiring it
under
by law.
threat of arrest, then I will...
I
then
am
will do it.
requiring it by law. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I am going to get arrested if I don't ID myself.
There is state law that says when you're requested by
That's a
law
yes or
enforcement.
no?
Yes,
Okay.
if you're required by law enforcement, you must provide your driver's
All right. If there's a reasonable suspicion.
This is articulable reasonable suspicion. You just
Of
proved
what
it.
crime? Of what crime? Whoa! Whoa! Simple battery. You just battered me, sir.
Step out here, because I've given you lawful commands.
And you have my ID.
Please,
and you have my ID.
Please give your phone to your friend, and we're gonna step out here.
Okay, I'm stepping out. You don't need to manhandle me. I'm stepping
not.
out.
How am I manhandling? Step out.
Okay, I'm stepping
I'm
out.
not. I don't want you doing anything to put the vehicle in drive because I've had that happen before.
I'll shut it off.
All right, thank you.
I didn't even think of that. I apologize.
Step back
Okay,
here.
I'm stepping back.
We're gonna step in front of my car. We'll get out the road.
The confrontation escalated when police officers used force to pull the driver out of the vehicle, an act that could be considered assault under Georgia Criminal Code section the 23rd of May 16 OCGA. The driver has accused the police of excessive use of force and a serious violation of their civil rights, asserting that they will pursue legal action to hold the officers accountable under the law.
I want you out the road. I just want you out the road.
He said rear. You said my car, and he said rear. So that's
All right, drop it.
You drop it. Stop barking orders at me, tyrant. That's what you are. You know it. And we're gonna make sure everybody knows it. Hey, go live. Are you live?
No.